Hello YouTube and welcome back to what is the final PIDA Kanto weekly show of season 1, because it's time, people. It's here. It's the final of PIDA Kanto Division season number 1 of PIDA. Now, it's been a long time since we started way back when in PIDA week 1. It's was it 16 weeks ago or something like that? Was 17 weeks ago, it's week 1. We're here now for the final, where we have the Black Sea Curums versus the Wellington Hoos in the final. And as you can see, both these teams, if you've watched the previous PIDA Kanto weekly shows, you'll know that Black Sea Curums have been pushing at the top of the table for most of the season. Wellington Hoos have been around about the top as well. I think in the actual game, in the proper season, the Black Sea Curums won about 3 or 4-0. So it's the Wellington Hoos' chance to get their revenge and pick up the W and get a chance to franchise Amon for next season in Season 2. And as you can see, the team matchups are the Wellington Hoos have brought Celesteela, Megazord X, Celebi, Whimsicott, Rotom Wash, and Tyranitar, whereas the Black Sea Curums have brought Mega Medicham, Kyurem Black, Magearna, Tornadus Spherian, Gliscor, and Raikou. So, if you look at the matchups, the Wellington Hoos have got double grass, and there's a Tornadus and a Kyurem Black right there, and a Gliscor. I mean, Gliscor doesn't tend to run Flying Stab, but Tornadus and Kyurem Black could be a problem for both those grass types. So, need to get rid of them early. Best outcome for that would be Tyranitar and Rotom. Although, so Tyranitar and Rotom is going to be very crucial in this game for the Wellington Hoos. Celesteela, once the Raikou and the freaking Kyurem Black out of the way, can actually put in the work against the team. And Megazord X just, can put in some work against the team as well. Mega Medicham's obviously the MVP of this league so far by a landslide. So that's the main threat for the Mega Medichams in this game. So, last time in Season 1, let's jump into this game and see how things go. So Wellington Hoos lead Rotom Wash versus the Tornadus. As the Tornadus U-turns out into his Raikou, predicting a Volt Switch, which he does go for. Resists it, does 12% to the Raikou. Out comes the Whimsicott versus the Sabertooth, as it goes for Taunt against the Sabertooth, as it tries to go for Toxic. Doesn't. There's the hidden power, probably Poison, I'm guessing, for the Whimsicott. As Whimsicott U-turns out, straight out into his Megazord X. As he Mega Evolves and goes for EQ, the Raikou goes for Volt Switch and goes out into his Gliscor, predicting the EQ. As Megazord X goes for Substitute, and I'm thinking, right. Substitute. I've seen this set before. Sub Belly Drum Megazord X. I thought this was the set he was going to bring. That's what my thoughts are right now. But Gliscor comes out as he goes for Roost to get full back up to full health. As he goes for Earthquake, breaking the Substitute. Goes straight into Celesteela, thinking, okay, that was a waste of time. So out comes the Raikou as he sets up to rock with his Gliscor. Goes for the Air Slash. Out comes Whimsicott. Probably going to sack this thing off, I'd imagine, as it goes for Volt Switch. Lives on 5%. Out comes Magearna, as I think it just goes for Memento. Yep, there's Memento. Sacks off the Whimsicott. Gets a Soul... Do not know Soul... yeah, Soul Heart dies, whatever happens in a... Whoever dies, it gets a Soul Heart boost, so... That's a good free-for-all, Mom. Next free-for-all. I'm going to bring Magearna. Don't tell anyone. But I'm going to bring Magearna. Shh. But anyway, gets... Memento is still at -1, so... Magearna still is quite a problem. So out comes Tyranitar, setting up the Sandstream right now, as he goes for Dragon Dance, thinking to begin to switch out. So he goes for Thunder Wave to shut down the Tyranitar as it goes for Aura Sphere. Gets a crit, lives on, pops the weakest policy, and it gets the full power. Very unfortunate, because if he clicked Earthquake, this thing probably would have been dead. But it didn't. Got to kill against the... Pretty much Tyranitar just useless at this point. So he Volt Switches out, killing the Tyranitar as he Volt Switches out into his Tornadus. Out comes Rotom Wash. It's very it's a very... Thunder Wave Magearna was a good bring, to be honest, because obviously if he Dragon Dance on his Charizard or Dragon Dances on his Tyranitar, He can predict that and just go for Thunderwave, predict him to think, oh, he's going to switch out and get a free Dragon Dance up. That's probably why he brought it, but hey ho, hey ho, hey ho. Tornadus U-turns out against his Rotom out into Magearna, as it goes for Hydro Pump, does 35% to the Magearna, and goes to Thunderwave himself, so everything getting paralysed on this team. Volt switch out against the Rotom, out into Mega Medicham. Sandstorm is ended. Out comes Celebi, predicting the fighting type move, I'd imagine. As he Mega Evolves and goes for Drain Punch, which does nothing to Celebi. Just eats up for days. There's a substitute for the Mega Medicham, as the Celebi just goes for Skill Swap, which did not see that coming, if I'm being totally honest. I did not see that coming. What Skill Swap? Was that to shut down the Mega Medicham? But why would he stay in against the Celebi with a Mega Medicham? He would probably gone out into... Ooh. He probably would have... If I was Zombie right now, I would have went out into Tornadus. Or Magearna. And then Celebi would have had Soul Heart, which would have been busted. Or it would have had Regenerator, which too could have been busted. So, doesn't. He gets the Pure Power Celebi. As he just goes for Poison Jab. Does 52% to the Celebi, as now it just can't... So why did he... Why did he Thunderwave? Maybe he just thought I was going to go out, but... Maybe he thought he was going to just switch out to get his Pure Power back, but obviously he doesn't, so Thunderwave does nothing. So it takes 2 Poison Jabs, gets the Poison, as he goes for Giga Drain, breaks the sub, but now Celebi doesn't have Natural Cure, can't get rid of this Poison, and reaches out. So out comes Tornadus. So he goes for Giga Drain, does nothing to Tornadus, obviously. Gets some recovery back, Poison damage is racking up, U-turns out, outspeeds, goodbye Celebi. Out comes Kyurem Black. Probably going to go out to Megazord X right now. Yes, he does. Envy goes for Substitute, as he goes for Dragon Pulse, breaking that sub. So, goes out into Celesteela, predicting another Dragon Pulse, because it will resist it, which it does. 23% to Celesteela. Out comes the Raikou. There's the pressure, as he goes for Flash Cannon to 20%. Not too shabby at all. Out comes Megazord X. These rock damage is really stacking up against this team. Volt Switch lives on 9%. And out comes Jupiter, as it goes for U-turn. Lives on 1%, which is mad. Out comes Gliscor, as he goes for Roost. Back up to 51%. That's very clutch. Out comes Selly to predict an Earthquake or something. Out comes Raikou. The switch games are real. These rocks are really hindering the Weather Heroes right now. All these switches. There's the Volt Switch. Rotom Wash goes down. Out comes the Kyurem Black versus the Celesteela, who can just go for Flash Cannon. Does 54% to Kyurem Black as he goes for Fusion Bolt. Knocks out the... Celesteela, all rests on a 27% Charizard X. So he goes for Fire Punch, kills the Kyurem Black, which is very good. Out comes Gliscor, just goes for Fire Punch because he can't really roost because he knows an Earthquake will kill even at that range, and he just keeps stacking up with Toxic or healing damage. So that's a 5-0 victory for the Black Sea Kyurems in the final. So congratulations to the Zombie and the Black Sea Kyurems picking up the W of PIDA season number 1. He gets to franchise the mod on draft day. So on draft day, he can make his mind up. Any mod on his team, which is allowed to draft in Season 2, he can franchise, and that'll be his guaranteed last pick. So any other picks or anything like that, he can, because obviously there's new mons being added to Season 2, which I'll talk about in a second, but it'll be unfair if we make Black Sea Kyurems take their first pick first, because there'll be better mons, and so... You can declare it now, and it'll be given his last pick. So when it gets back down to the bottom, when he makes his 11th pick, he'll stop, and everyone else will just continue until they get all 12 mods. So, MVP in that game was Magearna, not Mega Medicham. So Mega Medicham had a very quiet game, even though being the MVP, I think, overall this season. So what we're going to do now is look at the coaches for next season, because obviously... There's a few rule changes. There's a few rule changes to PIDA in Season 2. First of which, as you can probably see by the lovely layout right now, that there's only going to be 12 coaches per division this season, because the season was very long last season. It was like 16 weeks, and that was very long. And the point of promotion relegation stuff, I want to try and keep them as short as possible. but still take the same format as what football does, having everyone play with each other once and senior rule and whatnot. So next season, and because of all the dropouts we had, I think half of Kanto dropped and about 5 coaches in Johto dropped. So we pushed, instead of just putting newbies in Kanto, which would have been unfair on the coaches in Johto, we just promoted in Johto. We just went, right, you're staying, you came first, you can go in Kanto, and just did that instead of doing orange relegation playoffs and just the regular playoffs in general. So as you can see, the Black Sea Curiums will be staying, who were obviously champions this season. So they need to. So will the Black Sea Curiums hold on to their title for next season? Find out by pressing the subscribe button down below. Boston Typhlosions are staying. They finished 6th this season, and they obviously started the season not as their own coach. They started about week 5, week 6 on a. I think the team was around the orange zone at that stage. That's when he joined. So getting up to 6 is very good. So I'm expecting David to come at least top 4, push for playoffs next season. Next up we've got the Chicago Grambles, who were one of the Johto promoted sides, and I think they finished 2nd in Johto. So we'll see how. I really want to see how the Johto lot are going to fare in Kanto next season. Next up we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers, coached by Tyson. Once again, he was also late coming to the league. I think he was around the same time David joined, like week 5, week 6 or something. And because of all the dropouts, he managed to clinch a promotion spot. So we're interested to see how he does in PIDA Kanto division next season. Also, the Fisk of the North Sparse Jack, who won Johto last season. So hopefully he can do as well as he did in Johto in Kanto. He's also got the Gale Tassarai, coached by Dix, who I think finished about 4th or 5th in Johto last season. So once again, another Johto new coach. We're getting all the new Johto coaches in Kanto next season. So it'll be interesting to see how he does as well next season. And next up, we've got the Honolulu Holuchis, coached by Kyle, who finished 8th last season. So they took over a team who was near the bottom. He had an early start, and so hopefully he can improve on that 8th position next season. Well, obviously, because there's only 12 coaches this season. So if he finishes 8th next season, he's in the orange zone. So he needs to try and either push for the yellow safety zone or the green playoff zone next season. And next up, we've got the Hungry Big Boys, Bidoof, who memed last season and finished 15th. But because of all the dropouts, I didn't want any dropouts in Kanto, because like all of Joe would have just been in Kanto next season, which would have been stupid. That would have been absolutely stupid. So Hungry Big Boys are staying in Kanto this season. Obviously, they memed last season and finished 15th. I don't know if they're going to meme again next season or just try and. I don't know what the Hungry Big Boys are going to do. So your guess is as good as mine. So hopefully they can either meme and try and stay in the league, in the division, or go all out, because if he goes all out, I think he could finish in the yellow zone. I've faith in you, Bidoof. Next up, we've got the Sinnoh Starlets, coached by Sean, who got to the semi-final spot last season, or this season anyway, losing to the Black Sea Curiums. So Sinnoh Starlets were the ones pushing the Black Sea Curiums all throughout the entire season for that top spot. So hopefully they can right it wrong and just push on and try and get the title for season number 2. Next up, we've got the Victoria Victinis, who finished 5th last season, just missing out on those playoff spots. Next season, can they do the job and push into that green zone? Because obviously the Pure Pidgeots are not here anymore. They left. So they've got a chance to try and get into that green zone hopefully next season, and come and try and win season 2 and get a new name on that trophy in PIDA Kanto. And last but not least, we've got the Weds and Ho-Ohs, coached by Starving Pig, who got to the final, lost 5-0. So I'd imagine he has a vendetta to try and come back and try and win season 2 and try and get a trophy for the Wellington Ho-Ohs. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen, no coach there. This is because, as of recording this, there is a Johto playoff game between the Los Ampharos and the Grand Prairie Greninjas, because there was, due to forfeits and whatnot, the last game, there were 2 coaches who were like level points and whatnot. And I think one coach had 3 points less, but if they had that forfeit game, they would have went overhead, which I thought would have been unfair. IMO. So I said, right, you two coaches, you two are the only ones who can potentially get promoted because of this forfeit game. So you two just play each other, and the winner will go to Kanto, and the loser will stay in Johto. So that's the plan, Stan. So when that game gets played, I'll probably do a whole overview once the draft is over. If this video, I'm putting it out there now, if this video gets 12 likes, one like for every single coach in Kanto next season, I'll do a power rankings for Kanto next season. If this video gets 12 likes, 12 likes, I'll do a power rankings for Kanto next season. So if you want to see that, smash the like button. But before we end, I want to go over some I want to go over them now, and then because rule change next season. There's two main rule changes which are being changed from season 1 to season 2. The first of which is trades, because last season there was only 3 trades, 1 free agent, 2 intercoach trades, which most people weren't very happy about because they wanted to change the team more often because it was a long season. I thought that's fair enough. Next season we'll change it. So next season you can have 3 free agent trades and 3 intercoach trades. And with a short season, that's fine. Totally fine. So they'll also make the tier changes, which we'll go on to in a minute, very much more interesting, to say the least, because hopefully more Mons will be drafted, so we'll make the drops and the raises more interesting next season. And also, the only rule we did have in PIDA was you had to Mega Evolve Turn 1, but that rule is being changed. You don't have to Mega Evolve Turn 1 if you draft a Mega of that Mon. All you have to do is hold the Mega Stone. So if you draft Megazard X, you don't have to Mega Evolve Turn 1, but you have to hold the Charizard X. It's mainly for the likes of Sharpedo can shine, the likes of Glalie can shine, the likes of... they're the only 2 I can really think of that would benefit from that. Maybe Tyranitar and Garchomp, possibly. I don't know. But we'll see how interesting that goes next season, because obviously Mega Glalie will have Moody and Mega Sharpedo will have Speed Boost and whatnot. So we'll free up some more options for the actual strategics for next season. Now, the tiers. The most important part of PIDA. The tiers changing. Because these tiers are not like any other tiers you'll ever see. Because season 1, if you missed out on the first ever video on the channel going over all the algorithm and whatnot, the algorithm was done on all the Mons from OU to NU, or to the lowest tier above PU. I think it's NU or RU, something like that. But I put all those ones in a algorithm to work out which one's the best based on typing, based on stats, based on move pools and what it can do and all that sort of stuff. So that were the tiers for season 1. Now season 2 was based on performances from season 1. So the likes of Mega Medicham and Mega Heracross and all those Mons that were flying in Kanto, flying in Johto, will move up a tier. All the ones that didn't do so well or wasn't drafted, moved down a tier. So the tiers were completely different to last season, completely different. And with the addition of Ho in this season, because we're extended to 3 divisions this season, next season, 3 divisions. We've got 12, 12, 10, and hopefully season 3, if it grows even more, we could have a Sinnoh next season, because we only need 2 more coaches to fill Hoenn, and then we can add a Sinnoh and have like 8 or 10, 12 coaches to how many we get. So it'll be very interesting. But we added Ubers. To Kanto, there's a Division Ubers where no rules. The only Ubers that are banned are Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, Mega Rayquaza, and Ultra Necrozma. Besides that, every other freaking Uber is allowed. Xerneas, freaking Groudon, Darkrai, Aegislash, Arceus, Ho-Oh, Lugia, Lunala, Marshad, Mega Blaziken, Mega Salamence, all of those are available. And there's a few top tier 1s in there as well to even it out a bit, because which is wild. But the likes of Aegislash are in tier Ubers. Arceus, rule on Arceus is only 1 Arceus can be drafted, but When you draft, you have to say Arceus Steel, Arceus Fairy. You can only have one type of Arceus, so you can't have normal and blah blah. If you want to draft Arceus Fairy, you have to say Arceus Fairy. But I would imagine most people would probably want to draft either normal. I think normal is the best one to go for because you can obviously still have an Arceus. It's a normal type, but you can have any item you want. You can have leftovers. You can have choice badge. You can have choice scarf. You can have assault vest. You can have Z move. You can have whatever on Arceus. Whatever you want. So that's that. If I drafted Arceus, I'd probably have a normal type. Or depending on what the rest of my team was, it doesn't matter. But anyway, there's Blaziken as well with speed boost. Celesteela Garb there for being just stand out fantastic in freaking Kanto last season. You've got Darkrai, you've got Deoxys normal, you've got Deoxys attack, you've got Deoxys defense, you've got Deoxys speed, you've got Dialga, you've got Durant. Durant is an Ubers because of Choice Scarf, Guillotine, just putting in the work. Absolute fines for putting in the work. That's just what it was there for. You've got Ferrothorn, which also got promoted. You've got Genesect, you've got Giratina, you've got Giratina Origin Form. So there's two different Giratinas. So two teams can have Giratina, one can have the bulkier one, I think one's more of a physical one. So that works. Groudon, you got Ho-Oh, you got Kyogre, you got Landorus Incarnate, you got Lugia, you got Lunala, you got Marshadow, you got Mega Blaziken, you got Mega Gengar, Mega Kanga, Mega Latios, also got promoted, Mega Lucario, Mega Marwile, Mega Metagross, Mega Mewtwo-X, Mega Mewtwo-Y, Mega Salamence, Mewtwo, Naganadel, Necrozma Dawn, Necrozma Dusk, Nihilego, got promoted, Palkia, Pheromosa, Rayquaza, Reshiram, Shaman Sky, Solgaleo, Victini, got promoted, Xerneas, Yveltor, Zekrom, Zygarde, complete. So that Zygarde can run Power Construct. Yeah, so that Zygarde can Power Construct, and then obviously there's the regular Zygarde, which can't run Power Construct, and then you've got Zygarde 10%, which obviously can't run Power Construct. So only Kanto can have the Ubers tier. So we move on to tier 1, which was tier 1. So it's mainly consisting of tier 1 and I think it's the top 22 or something like that of tier 2 last season. So you've got Alola Alola Muck, Arcanine, Azelf, Bisharp, Celebi, Clefable, Diancie, Dragonite, Emboar, Empoleon, Escavalier, Ferroseed, Scrub. I can't believe Scrub's in tier 1. Get that mon out. Get that man down into tier 5. Get that mon down into tier 5 as soon as possible, please. Just get that Flygon out of tier 1 next season. If you draft Flygon, make sure it does trash. Just don't draft it, so it'll go down, please. I'm begging you. If you're watching this and you draft Flygon, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. Anyway, Gardevoir's here, Gliscor's here, Goodra's here, Greninja's here, Heatran's here, Hooper, not Hooper Unbound, normal Hooper is above Hooper Unbound. Greninja is in tier 1, Ash Greninja isn't. Ash Greninja, I think, Ash Greninja's in tier 2. Wild. You've got Hydreigon, you've got Infernape, you've got Jirachi, you've got Kartana, Klefki, Komodo, Latias, Latios, Lucario, Magearna, Magnezone, Manaphy, Mega Aerodactyl, Mega Aggron, Mega Camerupt, Mega Charizard X, Mega Charizard Y, Mega Diancie, Mega Gallade, Mega Gardevoir, Mega Latias, Mega Scizor, Mega Venusaur. There's a lot of Megas in tier 1. And there's a lot of Megas actually in Ubers as well. So there should be enough Megas to go around. Because there's only 12 coaches and you draft multiple Megas. So if you're clever, you draft Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y. And bring a Charizard, you have to make it Evolve turn 1. So they don't know what Charizard you're going to be bringing, even in the matchup. They'll go, right, that's a Charizard. Is that X or Y? Or just draft, I don't know. We'll come, I was going to say, what if someone drafted a Charizard, if someone drafted normal Tyranitar and Mega Tyranitar, they could bring Tyranitar to the game, and then they could also bring Mega Tyranitar to some games, and you don't know what Tyranitar is as well. That's another kettle of fish. If someone does that, then that's fine. But I don't think anyone will, because no one did it in Season 1. So I'm not expecting someone to do it in Season 2. They possibly will do, but you just don't know. You just don't know. There's Meloetta, Mew, Mismagius, Moltres, Necrozma, Registeel, Rotom-Wash, Salamence, Scizor, Skarmory, Slowbro, Snorlax, Stakataka, Talonflame, Tapu Koko, Togekiss, Tornadus, Furion, Uxie, Volcarona, and Whimsicott are all in tier 1. So some good options in tier 1. I mean, mainly steel types and bulky mons, I think, are in tier 1. There's a few like Hydreigon and Dragonite and freaking Gardevoir and Heatran and stuff like that. But there's mainly Steely types. Most of the Steel types have stayed in Tier 1, unfortunately. So the likes of Kanto and Johto can draft from Tier 1, but Hoenn can't. So if you watch this and you're in Hoenn next season, you can't touch Red and Orange tiers. In this video, you can't. You can draft Yellow and Green, but you can't touch Red and Orange. So in Tier 2, we have our boy George. Ambipom is in Tier 2. Ash Greninja's up here. Azumao's up here. Breloom's up here. Bronzong is up here. Some Steel types are slowly dropping down because the ones that weren't drafted last season are in Tier 2. The ones, I think it was mainly just the ones that weren't drafted because a lot of them weren't drafted because of the trade initiative and only one division could draft them. So I think most of them went down. So there'll be more. There's more Steel type options for the likes of Hoenn and Johto next season. There's also Buzzwole down here, Chandelure's down here, Chestnut, Cobalion, Cresselia, Crobat, Darmanitan, Dekidui, Delphox, Doublade, Espeon, Excadrill, Forretress, Garbodor, Garchomp, Gastrodon, Gengar, Gligar, Gyarados, Hawlucha, Hippowdon, Honchkrow, Hooper Unbound, Jellicent, Q and Black, Landorus Furion, Mega Alakazam, Mega Altaria, Mega Ordino, Mega Garchomp, Mega Slowbro, Mega Steelix, Mega Tyranitar. Metagross, Miltank, Minior, Nidoking, Noivern, Quagsire, Rhydon, Rhyperior, Roserade, Rotom, Scrafty, Shaman, Sigalith, Slowking, Slurpuff, Steelix, Tangrowth, Tentacruel, Thundurus, Thundurus Furion, Tyranitar, Venomoth, Vivian, Volcanion, Xatu, Zeraora. All in Tier 2. So it's going to be some very interesting teams built this season because there's definite power in all 4 tiers, like top level tiers in most leagues. So if someone's lucky enough and chooses their teams right, I think someone can have an absolute bomb stats team. But I'm imagining everyone's going to draft all the Ubers first because all the shiny Ubers are new and you can only draft them in that tier. So I'm imagining they're going to be drafted first, and then orange, yellow, and green is going to be afterwards, just in any order, whatever they want. There might be someone who drafted Ubers last to get some orange, yellow, green power early on, but I'm expecting most people to draft red mons first. But we've given to the last tier, Tier 3, where we have Aerodactyl, Alakazam, Alola Ninetales, Barbaracle, Blacephalon, Blissey, Braviary, Chansey, Cofagrigus, Comfey, Crawdaunt, Cryogonal, Donphan, Dragalge, Drapion, Druddigon, Florges. That's my bad. Florges in Tier 3. It's my bad. I screwed that mon up. I really did. Doesn't matter. Golbat, Galissapod, Hariyama, Heracross, Hitmonlee, Incineroar, Jolteon, Klinklang, Kyurem, Machamp, Magneton, Mamoswine, Mantine, Mega Glalie, Mega Gyarados, Mega Heracross, Mega Medicham, Mega Sableye, Mega Swampert. Mega Medicham was in Tier 4 last season, and it's now in Tier 3. I've got a sneaking suspicion that it will be in Tier 2 next season. I think it's going to slowly climb up to Ubers. If the right person drafts it again, and I do believe that Black Sea Cubans do get franchised to Mom, and I'm 60% sure Mega Medicham's going to be that Mom. So if he uses it as well as he did last season, it could be in Tier 2 next season, in Season 3. We've got Mian Xiao, my boy Mian Xiao, Mimikyu, Nidoqueen, Pangoro, Porygon 2, Porygon Z, Primarina, Rabombi, Rotom Heat, Seismitoad, Sharpedo, Silvally, Starmie, Suicune, Swampert, Swellow, Tapu Bulu, Tapu Lele, Terrakion, Torterra, Toxapex, Serena, Vaporeon, Venusaur, Virizion, Xurkitree, Yanmega, and Zygarde. So those are all the mons which are allowed to be drafted in Kanto next season. If you're watching this and you're from Kanto, I've probably gone over all the lists. You've probably all seen these already, but letting the people who aren't in PIDA know all these mons, these wacky tiers. Let me know down in the comment section down below if you're not in PIDA Kanto, what team you would actually draft out of all these tiers. You can have 3 from each tier. I'm interested to see if you're in PIDA Kanto, what team you would actually draft for next season in Season 2. If you are interested in PIDA and want to be in the Discord server or just interested in possibly joining Season 3, because we've got potential Season 3 to have more coaches. So if you are interested, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll hook you up. Don't you worry, I'll hook you up. That's a wrap, I think, for PIDA Kanto Weekly Shows Season 1. If you guys have enjoyed the video, if you guys have enjoyed the PIDA Kanto Weekly Shows in general, smash the like button down below. Be subscribed if you're not already. And if this video gets, once again, if this video gets 12 likes, I'll do a power rankings for Kanto Season 2 before the first weekly show of Season 2 starts. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.